Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Omobola to the stage. A round of applause, please. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. All right, thank you very much for having me. My name is Omobola Omofaiye, GM LPV Technologies, and I'll be presenting to you today on rethinking the energy mix for Nigeria's socioeconomic development. So we'll run through the discussion, and this will be like our guideline for the presentation. We'll look at the current energy landscape in Nigeria, why understanding energy mix matters, economic impact of energy shortages, deploying cost-effective energy mix, levelized cost of energy concept, the need for diversified energy and the benefits. Then we'll also be talking about the role of solar energy in reshaping a resilient energy future. I would just like to give us a context about Nigeria. Nigeria is a country that is rich in natural resources, yet it faces a lot of complex energy challenges. Despite vast oil and gas reserves, access to reliable and affordable energy remains a very significant barrier to socioeconomic development. Approximately about 55% of the population lack access to electricity, leading to a widespread of reliance on unsustainable alternatives. Again, adding that the fuel subsidy removal has also resulted in increase in cost of running thermal generators, and the estimated average cost of running thermal generator is approximately 450 kilowatts, which remains very expensive. And again, that's why we're talking about how to reintroduce an energy mix that becomes sustainable for the country and also for the people. Next slide. The current energy landscape from the graph that we see here, about 70% of the consumption is heavily denominated by fossil fuel, with traditional biomass playing a crucial role, especially in the rural sector. About 20% is from hydropower, 70% from renewables that include solar, wind, biomass, 2% coal, and 1% for oil and gas. And on the 7%, which speaks to the traditional biomass for rural life, and also for energy consumption, which includes solar, wind, traditional biomass, which is also pivotal for cooking and eating in the rural communities, but it poses a significant environmental and health challenges. Next slide. So speaking about the reliance on fossil fuel and the need for us to rethink energy mix and why energy mix matters. An energy mix is the blend of different sources of energy that is used to meet the power of a region or a business. And it's crucial to understand energy mix for a specific country, just to be sure that they can have a solid policy plan, which includes clear energy mix that allows them, the business, and also the government, to set policies that balances fossil fuels with renewable, and this ensures that they can keep the population and industrial growth. The second aspect is around the economic growth, and this also speaks to why it matters to have a very solid energy mix plan. Using natural resources such as hydro in Africa or solar in other regions, it helps to reduce reliance on fossil fuel, import, and also helps to create local jobs. It also has a very significant health and environmental impact. The prevalent use of diesel generator and traditional biomass potentially leads to significant air pollution, and it causes a lot of health challenges. In terms of cost efficiency, It helps to optimize capex and opex across technologies to help overall reduce consumer tariffs. Next slide. So I'll touch very quickly on economic impact of energy shortage. I'm very sure that we are aware that when energy is not available, it poses a lot of challenges socioeconomically on different countries, because energy is one of the bedrock to even drive socioeconomic impact across countries. So in countries where they currently experience energy shortages, the impact is that there will be high costs for running businesses in such terrain. Businesses will face high operational costs and frequent disruptions, which potentially can hinder their profitability. For industries, it could mean annual losses. So insufficient power will affect productivity, and an estimated 29 billion loss annually when we look at it in relation to the Nigerian economy. It also hinders industrial development, so lack of energy affects industrial growth, impacting essential services such as healthcare and education. Then overall, it has an impact on GDP because the GDP growth becomes stifled. So energy shortage issues contribute to about 2% annual GDP loss, and it potentially weakens national economic resilience and slows the pace of economic expansion. Next slide. So I'll be speaking about deploying a cost-effective energy mix. So this graph that I'm showing up here, it just sort of gives an overview of how energy mix can be deployed in a very cost-effective manner. If you look at the cost for solar here, it's about 150 kilowatt hour. For gas generator, it's about 170. Grid is about 206, and the diesel generator is about 450 kilowatt hour. Then I will speak very quickly to the acquisition cost of each of the sources and why it's important to have an efficient energy mix, just to be sure that we are able to drive down OPEX and also increase efficiency across board. For the solar, it has high capex, low OPEX, and is the cheapest energy over time. For gas generator, it has low capex, high OPEX, and gas is not readily available. And grid, because of the obsolete system on the grid side, it has proven to be a bit unreliable, but is a cheaper option than the diesel generator. Then the diesel generator, it has a very low OPEX, but with it has a low capex, but with high OPEX, and is the most expensive source of energy. So from this chart, it's very obvious that throughout the lifespan of installation of solar deployment, it gives you the lowest tariff over the lifetime. So in trying to design an energy mix that becomes effective for a country or for a business, it's important to also consider the infusion of solar solution to augment energy generation. Next slide. Levelized cost of energy concept is one that is extremely important when we're talking about effective energy mix, because it just shows us from the last slide what it can look like over the life cycle of deployment of each of the sources for generation of energy. And I'll just I'll speak to the meaning of levelized cost of energy. Levelized cost of energy is the average cost of integrating 1 unit of electricity, usually 1 megawatt, over the lifetime of a power plant, considering all the costs as capex, investment, operations, maintenance, and financing. It overall helps to provide a benchmark for comparing cost effectiveness for different energy technology. So if you look at it, it includes the initial cost of financing either of the project, either solar or any other power generation needs. Then it speaks also to the annual expenses. So over a year, you have about 125. And when you need to get the levelized cost of energy here, per kilowatt hour, you have about 0.125 per kilowatt hour in dollars. So it shows that levelized cost of energy plays a major role in how we put our energy mix together, especially to look at the one that can be most attractive to consumers when it comes to the tariff, and the one that can drive productivity and overall profitability. Next slide. So I will speak about the need for diversified energy and the benefits. From the previous slide, we've seen some of the benefits and also the importance of having a diversified energy mix. So in terms of industrial growth, it helps us to provide stable and affordable power that supports economic outcomes. It increases GDP and competitiveness of different countries, and also helps to reduce costs and drives long-term economic expansion. It can also help to unlock productivity across various sectors: agriculture, ITC, services, and the GDP growth. It helps to create job opportunities, especially in the renewable energy infrastructure development, and create employment in manufacturing, design, maintenance, and overall operations. Next slide. I would like to talk about the significant role of solar energy in shaping a resilient energy future. We have spoken about diversification when it comes to different energy mix, but solar plays a significant role. And I would also like to buttress the fact that Levene Energy is also playing a pivotal role in ensuring that we provide the necessary support around clean energy and also energy transition. So Levene Energy, we currently manufacture solar panels in Nigeria, and we do the end-to-end EPC for construction of utility scale projects, C&I projects, and mini grid projects. And shortly we will see the importance of why solar belongs to the sustainable energy mix. So solar definitely remains a very viable option in the energy mix due to its abundance and declining technology. And also we have seen that on the levelized cost of energy, solar remains one that is very attractive over the life cycle of the project. Then it brings significant benefits to different sectors and also to rural communities. It can help to bridge energy gap, and it also creates access for clean energy and reliable energy for productive use. It also enhances economic activities by ensuring that there's improvement across overall economic outcomes for different countries, local industries, businesses, and also around the agricultural sector. Then in conclusion, I would like to say that a well-designed and sustainable energy mix drives efficiency, results in reduced power generation costs. So in terms of resource diversification, it helps to ensure that you can integrate renewable energy into the mix and can overall help you reduce your cost of energy. It supports economic development. Effective energy mix can help you reduce the inflation rate and increase consumption. It provides supportive policies for different governments, which includes incentives to accelerate deployment of effective energy mix, and also around environmental sustainability. It helps to increase effective energy mix and can reduce carbon footprint and pollution. It also supports around the reduction of carbon-based energy sources on the climate. This brings me to the end of the presentation. Thank you for your time. I don't know if anyone has questions.
Thank you so much for the presentation. Do we have any questions on the floor? Any questions?
Yes, thank you. Alexandra from Focus Bazaar. So you mentioned the importance of the energy mix, and as we are here seeing a lot of oil and gas companies going on. So how do you perceive the challenges in developing into a more, let's say, balanced energy mix, focusing more and more onto renewable, sustainable projects without leaving the potential of oil and gas behind?
Very fantastic questions. And it also speaks to what we currently do as a group of company. So originally, we started with the oil and gas business, but now we also have a renewable energy business that is currently supporting clean energy and also the overall agenda of energy transition. But that's not to say that completely we're losing sight of the oil and gas business, but it's just to find I would say, a balance between that energy transition, reducing carbon footprint, and also reducing the reliance on fossil fuels. Thank you.
Thank you very much. To be really clear, I'm totally a fan of renewables and carbon emission reduction, so but that was really good answer to not lose behind any other economic interests and benefits. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any other question for Omobola?
Right, thank you. It's a very beautiful presentation. So I just wanted to ask, you said that diesel generators are the most expensive to run. So, and now we are transitioning into more cleaner energy, and solar happens to be the cheapest from what you presented. So what are we doing in terms of the production of the solar panels, the batteries? Are they produced locally? What are you doing to make sure that these things are produced locally and not being imported from China? Just like we have for the diesel, we are heavily reliant on importation. So what are we doing in terms of making sure that this new clean energy, the items needed to run it are produced here in Africa or in Nigeria as against importation?
Very valid question. And I would just like to give you some good news that at LPV Technologies, we currently manufacture solar panels in Nigeria. We have a 200 megawatt solar facility, state of the art, in Lagos, Nigeria, currently utilizing 100 megawatt. And we've started producing. We've done a couple of installations. We have reference site. We have partners, distributors, installers that we work with to ensure that we can get this product, across Africa, not just Nigeria. And on the back of that, we also realize that manufacturing solar panels alone will not solve the end-to-end problem in the value chain. So we've also gone a step ahead to ensure that we are able to deliver an end-to-end solution to the customer. So if a customer needs a solar solution, either utility scale on the C&I, mini grid, or even residential customer, we are able to do the feasibility studies, the energy assessment, and we are also able to do the engineering, procurement, construction, and after-sales support for solution. However, to talk about the other component like the batteries and the inverters is still on our roadmap to ensure that we can localize that technology and make it more accessible to people in Nigeria and across Africa. Thank you very much.
So one last question. So for your customers who want to probably purchase solar power, are there finances or do they just procure it, you just go out and install, or are there some kind of different payment things to do to help support, because it's quite expensive to set up, especially for CNI as against your home. So what do you offer? So do you offer like maybe something like a bill, they can pay their electricity, just something a bit more financially friendly for your customers?
Great question. So you touched on it, the capital outlay for the acquisition of the solution somewhat might be perceived as high. So we've also gone ahead to foster partnership with financial institutions to ensure that when our customers need to buy the solution, we have a flexible payment option that they can enjoy. So for the smaller scale solution, we have energy as a service business model that can be offered to them, or the lease to own model, so they can have instrumental payment done, or they can pay on tariff base. Even for the big C&I customers as well. We offer the PPA as well. So you don't need to put the capex on the table all at once to buy the solution. We can provide the financing alongside the solution.
Thank you so much. Any last question for Ms. Omofaiye?
Thank you, madam. We are one of the greatest importers of this product from China, and seeing you, I think, is a good opportunity. I think we can partner also to be one of the distributors in Nigeria. So I don't know if you have the distributors, I don't know your arrangement in terms of that.
Yeah, thank you very much. We are very open to collaboration. We have distributors, developers, partners that we currently are working with to ensure that we can get the product across Nigeria and outside the shores of Africa as well. So we can collaborate, we can speak afterwards, and I will share with you the requirements of becoming one of the distributors, and we can accelerate the conversation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Any last question?
Thank you so much for the wonderful presentation and for outcome that you created and presented to us. Just a question on your side. I mean, solar is something that we've been speaking about as a renewable solution on the continent for quite some time. I think it's quite obvious that we have a lot of sunshine on the continent. And so you almost expect to see a greater or more intense uptake of solar, both in public and private. And I just wonder what you guys find to be the biggest hindrance to that, as to why it's not taken at a much quicker rate. I would imagine that finances does come into it in most cases, but not completely all major corporations that should be able to put solar are not taking it as quick as one would expect, or as quick as it's being pushed. Is it more of an accessibility issue do you find? Or do you find that there are cultural instances that also need to be tackled in order to get a quicker and more robust solar uptake? Thank you.
Yeah, very brilliant question, and it also speaks to some of the challenges that we currently experience in the sector. So in terms of optics, you're very correct. It's been a bit gradual. With all the campaigns and the awareness that's going on, we expected to have seen like a much higher optics. But you touched on something that is extremely crucial, the financing. So when people need to acquire that solution, especially on the commercial and industrial sector side, you find out that the capital outlay is very huge. And because they're commercial, they also have other aspects of business that they're looking at and might be unable to put the capex on the table all at once. So we've also devised some flexible financial solution or some financial engineering to do that, to say that once we have your design done, you can get the overall capex. However, if you're not able to put all of the capex on the table, we can do some financial modeling that can help you get a tariff-based. So when you're comparing it to the cost of grid, it even becomes more competitive, right? And you can repay over a period of time. You know, sometimes you have a 10-year contract, right, which can be renewed just to ensure that the customer